Full Court Press with Eric Frandsen and Ajay Salvesen.
I'd hate to see how you balance your checkbook.
I'm telling you, I'd hate to see you general manage a team.
Y'all getting paid millions to act like...
The Full Court Press on Sports Talk Radio, 106.9 FM, 1390 AM. The Fan.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Full Court Press. Eric Frandsen and Ajay Salvesen. Still trying to get our ducks in a row here. We've been both kind of crazy busy. But here we are. I don't know what's been more busier. Eric, myself, MLB, or NBA. But here we are anyways. Eric, I got to switch your mic. Don't talk anything. Don't say a word. Hold on, mic. There we go. Now you're good to go. Speak away. Speak at your heart's desire. Great. So, Eric, why do you... You are such a jerk. You know, listeners, Eric's mic's going. You know, Eric lost his privileges. I'm Ajay Salvesen, and you're going to be listening to me on the Full Court Press. If you want to take... He's not even on.
Finally. I'm over here trying to talk, and you keep silencing
you weren't
me.
even on. You weren't even on.
I was trying to talk to you, and you're trying to be, big man behind the mic,
you know,
behind
Eric,
the board.
It'd be really cool if you could show up on time to our show every now and then. So I didn't have to.
The music was going, and as it was time for us to start talking, I was here. I was on time.
Yeah. If you want to text into our show, 435-339-0321. If you have hung with us in the slow portion of the summer, then you realize that today is it. It is our last 1 hour show until May of next year.
Lots changing. Yeah, coming back to full 2 hours. Next week will also mark the beginning of Utah State football. Their camp is getting underway next week. We got noticed today.
I need to text Travis Cox.
That's some fun stuff going on later on next week. High school football teams are doing their scrimmages because the following week will be the opening week of high school football. We got some exciting things going on next Friday for some of those schools, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, you're right, Ajay. A very busy 24 hours from the NBA draft and trades that were being made ahead of the draft, trades that happened during the draft, in the late evening hours, and even through the early morning hours, it continued. The Jazz were involved in some of those. Nimi Keta, he's got a new home. And then the Major League Baseball trade deadline came and went, and boy, was there a lot of activity. The most in All-Stars traded in one season. Very busy deadline. Perhaps one of the biggest, busiest teams involved were the Chicago Cubs. Not necessarily with who they were getting or who they were going after, but who they were giving up. The starting lineup tonight for the Cubs has a lot of unfamiliar faces for Cubs fans. Yeah, there's a few guys that are still here. Hayward, Bodie, Arrieta's on the mound. But there are a lot of guys that we're not used to seeing in the starting lineup for the Chicago Cubs.
So let's go through some of the updates that we've got so far in before the trade deadline ended today about 2 o'clock, so 2 hours ago. Finally came to a halt. But we'll start with one of the bigger ones, and that was. I gotta go find it. Max Scherzer looked like he was headed. Yeah, Max Scherzer looked like he was headed to the Padres, which was all handy dandy for all the Padre fans. Well, here come the Dodgers, and they decide to get saucy. And not only do they take Max Scherzer, but they also get Trey Turner. And I'm looking for the official trade in itself, and I can't find it. Oh, by the way, wouldn't you be surprised? San Diego's trying to unload Eric Hosmer's contract. Who would have ever thought? Owed $59 million through 2025. I would have tried. It's just unreal. God, where's that deal, man? Who did they get out of him?
Well, so you're talking about the Nationals sent Scherzer and Trey Turner to the Dodgers.
What did the Dodgers get in return, though?
What did the Nationals get in return, you mean?
Yeah, sorry.
What did they get? I know they got some future prospects.
All is that Jeff Passan kept saying is that it was like a huge load of prospects, and I think a draft pick including some cash compensation.
Yeah, I think it was mostly like future stuff. It wasn't like players for now. It's a lot of future consideration, upcoming prospects. I guess that Dodgers farm system is highly valued around Major League Baseball. So if you can get somebody from their farm league, then you're going to get somebody who could be a good up-and-comer player. But those are 2 All-Stars that got moved. Cubs sent a couple of All-Stars. And so what was it, 10 different All-Stars that you're traded this season?
Yep.
Crazy.
Jeez. 9315.
So a very busy time.
Will somebody from the Full Court Press be the first person to ask about situational punting at USU Football Media Day? And I'm using the app. Oh, yeah, roll call. Sorry. How you listening? Where you listening from? How you doing? It's a Friday. I'm having a depressing Friday.
Why are you having a depressing Friday?
It sucks,
Your
man.
team didn't get rated. Your team didn't.
Our team didn't get rated.
Decide to fold
it did.
the
Yes,
tent.
it did. Dude, yes, it did absolutely get rated. The baseball gods were like, you know what? We're gonna just take all your players. Acuna, give us your ACL. Ozuna, give us your mentality because you can't freaking just stay sane. Freddie Freeman, we like you too much, so you're gonna stay normal. Everyone else is just gonna play. I mean, our leading pitcher right now has I think 4th highest ERA in the NL. Dude, he's our ace right now. I mean, we're just you don't understand what it's like to be a Braves fan because you've had it better than me. So congratulations.
I've had it better than you?
Yes. When did you win the World Series?
2016.
Great. So we won it 20 years before. I mean, 20 years ago, and we've been to 2 other ones. And we couldn't win those. As a Braves fan, it's been rough. For 49-51, Ronald Acuna Jr., Mike Soroka, injuries. Ozuna went crazy. Jacques Peterson is here, but he's inconsistent, to be honest with you. Travis Arenado, or whatever his name is, he's finally recovering from his injuries, but it's still going to be another 2 weeks.
Well, it was a very busy trade deadline in Major League Baseball. Sometimes it kind of whimpers. It doesn't really gain much steam. But, man, a lot of big names on the move today. Certainly it started earlier in the day yesterday. It looked like Scherzer was going to San Diego, and then it changed, and they got even a sweeter deal going to to Los Angeles. Kind of a similar deal with another Los Angeles team. The Lakers looked like they were going to swing a deal with the Sacramento Kings, and all of a sudden quickly pivot and get Russell Westbrook also out of the D.C. area. So kind of funny how that ended up working. But Russell Westbrook going to the Lakers, one of the bigger draft trades that took place yesterday. So very, very busy day with a lot of people on the move.
Okay, so I found the Dodgers trade. So we're gonna be all over the place today. It's just kind of where the day's been. But Max Scherzer's Trey Turner go to the Dodgers. The Dodgers will send the Nationals 4 prospects: Josiah Gray, Keibert Ruiz, and Gerardo Carrillo, and outfielder Donovan Casey. Gray and Ruiz were rated by ESPN's Kylie McDaniel as the Dodgers' top 2 prospects. Gray at 36. McDaniel was ranked at 74. So they're sending a pitcher who's 8-4 with a 2.76 ERA in his 19 starts this season to the Dodgers. And they're one of the best infielders, or one of the best infielders in the league. That's just a horrible trade. Like, I don't know what you're trying to... I don't know why you're giving up. And I mean, so the Dodgers obviously are now the clear-cut favorite to win the National League. Probably the clear-cut favorite to win it all now, right?
Well,
I mean, by far and away.
I don't know, because they're not the best team in the National League. That's the San Francisco Giants.
Well, they just picked up Scherzer and Trey Turner. That's going to help you.
Well, it certainly is going to help. But people are getting upset in the Bay Area, like, look what the Dodgers are doing. We should do something. And then they did. They got Chris Bryant from the Chicago Cubs.
5634. It's been 26 years since the Braves won the World Series. I just want to go home today. Dude, 26 years. Oh, man, that is a kick to the Wachobies. Thank you, 5634. Appreciate you doing the math there for me. Okay, so, yeah, Brian's going, okay, yeah, so wait, can I ask you, as a Cubs fan, what hurts more? Rizzo to the Yankees, Brian to the Giants, or Javi Baez to the Mets? What kicks you in the stomach more?
It just all makes me sick. I mean, it's all happened at the same time.
Let it out. It's a safe place. Let's do this.
No, it's too raw.
No, it's not raw.
It's really frustrating.
Is it frustrating, though? Like, you guys weren't winning in the first place, so why would you keep them?
They weren't horrible.
Yeah, that might be true.
They weren't a terrible team.
What is their record right now, actually? Do you know?
Yeah, I'm pulling it up right now.
Dude, Eric, they're 50-54. They're second to last in the NL Central.
Well,
they're not horrible? They have a minus 32 run differential, and they're 11.5 games back of first place. And they've lost 3 in a row.
They weren't that far off until the uppity-ups with the Chicago Cubs started making comments a couple of weeks ago before the All-Star break. I think we might have to tear this whole thing down and start from scratch again. I mean, what does that do for team confidence and morale? I mean, the writing's on the wall. Everybody knew all the top guys were going to be on the move. And they've known this for weeks.
Okay, Eric, who's going to have the bigger factor on their team? Javi on the Mets, Brian to the Giants, or Rizzo for the Yankees? Who's going to have the bigger and more positive impact?
Man, that's a really good question.
Let's talk. I know you want to talk about this.
I mean, at least they go to good programs that are in the hunt right now. San Francisco's number 1 in the West. The Mets are number 1 in the East. Yankees, where are they? They're number 3 in the American League East. So, I don't know. I mean, I'm not a really big fan of any New York club, so I guess I'm happier for Chris Bryant going to San Francisco.
So you're just going to do this based off pettiness.
Yes.
Pennywise is back in the house.
That's right.
I love how bitter you sound right now. It is so much fun. Oh, goodness gracious. I love it.
You know what's hard also?
Uh-huh.
Watching the goodbye videos that the Chicago Cubs have put together, thanking these players for their years in Chicago.
That they've had made for about 2 months now.
And you watch them and you're like, oh, don't do that to me. It's hard to watch.
Oh, man, it's so funny. I've been laughing. 435-339-0321. If you're a baseball person, give me your thoughts on the Max Scherzer trade. Or is your team doomed? Or is your team now better? Or is your team a World Series contender title favorite now? Give me your thoughts on the MLB Trade Deadline. 435-339-0321.
Well, for me, I'm set my personal disappointment aside.
Please do.
What these trades have done, I mean, these are big names that are on the move over the last 24, 48 hours. An incredible amount of all-stars being traded. So this kind of firms up some teams' positions where they currently are, while it helps bolster others that are trying to get to where they need to be. So how much does this change the race to the World Series in Major League Baseball?
Yeah, so the Yankees, who were struggling because they had too many righties, needed a couple lefties, they go pick up 2 really solid lefties, one in Gallo, one in Rizzo.
Yes.
The Red Sox.
And by the way, the Yankees are 8.5 back of the Red Sox. And
the Red Sox went and snagged Kyle Schwarber. So Kyle Schwarber's now headed to Boston. Oh, man, that's crazy. That's a good pickup for Boston. That is huge.
Yeah, his bat is swinging really well right now. He's hitting a lot of home runs, really strong hitter.
You could use him in sort of a way, and I'm not comparing the two, but you could use him in a way like David Ortiz, Big Papi. Just as a DH guy, when you got a righty-lefty matchup, slug it away. 8003, son of a World Series contender, let's go Dodgers. You know what? That sucks. Oh, that's too bad. We got Dodger fans on the station, Eric. That's a shame. Okay, so for me, the Padres didn't come out horrible on this. I mean, they did end up swinging and missing big time with the Scherzer situation. I mean, but it wasn't all for naught. They did end up getting a pitcher. Well, then they got Frazier from the Pirates too, by the way. What does Frazier even play? Is he? Oh, second base. I was looking at the wrong Frazier. I was thinking it was like Todd Frazier. Yeah, Adam Frazier. Headed over to play for San Diego. That's a good pickup for him. They also got a pitcher. I got to find it now. I had it too. Anyways, so not is all lost for the Padres. The problem being is that your whole entire division got better. A lot better. Really. Like, Dodgers are already cream of the crop. Giants pick up a great third baseman. And you know what? I bet you Chris Bryant starts playing really good now. I bet you he starts batting like 300.
If he can stay healthy.
Slugging it well. Oh, listen to you, Pennywise. Listen to you.
No, I hope he does well. I'm not mad at the players. I love these guys.
Yeah, what is your
So
fandom?
I've loved watching these players play. I love their enthusiasm. They have been great for Chicago. Chicago's been great to them. It's this is a franchise that is steeped in debt, and they are just having to come to cold hard realization about some choices they have to make to keep the team afloat.
9835 says, remember, guys, the collective bargaining agreement with the union expires at the end of this season. Teams that throwing in the towel on the season are dumping payroll larger than normal as they do not hold any large or many large contract with no idea what the CBA will bring next year, if there is a next year.
It's a good point. Right, you shed some of that salary. You don't know what it's going to look like after this season. It could be a lockout. It could be a strike. Cubs are like trying to position themselves. Well, they need to save money anyway.
Yeah,
and I think they're just finally coming to the realization, like, look, we've got to make some moves here. Got to start young. Got to start from scratch. Save some money in the process. I mean, they got some young things to build upon, but still, it's hard.
8003, sorry, Ajay. Born and raised in Dodger Blue. Hey, don't be sorry. It's all right. I understand. I was born and raised in Yankee Blue, then went to Braves. I decided to leave the Yankees and become a Braves guy, and I've been with the Braves ever since. And it's been one of the biggest regrets I've ever had in my sports fandom career, is being a Braves fan. Before we take a break, really quickly, winners, losers in the trade deadline that you have, that you think, and then we're going to talk NBA here for the next little while.
Well, I think the Dodgers are the big winners.
Yeah, without question, right?
I mean, getting 2 All-Stars, another ace on the mound,
nuts, man.
Another solid player he's got a good bat and plays good defense.
Makes me want to throw up.
It shores up that pitching rotation for them. I think Of course, I'm bitter, but I think the Chicago Cubs are the losers. Just how much they gave up, and this is a long-term play for them to get better. So, yeah.
So much fun.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I was just looking at what the lineup will, or at least the rotation will look like. And this is without Trevor Bauer, by the way, too. But
that probably motivated a lot of what happened here, because they don't know when he's coming back.
God, that's lame, though. Out of all the teams he goes to. So in the past 2 days, right? Scherzer, Trey Turner to the Dodgers. Chris Bryant to Giant, Baez, a Met, Rizzo, Gallo, Yankees, Kimbrel's a White Sox, Schwarber's a Red Sox, Berrios is a Blue Jay. It's probably one of the better trade deadlines we've had in recent memory in regards to the MLB. Like, they spiced it up quickly.
Yeah. A lot of moves. If you've got a favorite team, you might want to check that roster, because there's a pretty high chance it's looking different today.
And the other thing also is that the Dodgers blew over the luxury cap. Do you want to know about how much? $102 million.
Yeah, crazy day. Major League Baseball today going to the deadline. Also really busy in the NBA. Gosh, awesome to hear about Nimi Queta. To hear his name called last night.
So cool.
We'll talk about his destination, if he fits in well there, what the Jazz did. A little bit later on, we'll also get into the Friday 5 best. Speaking of the draft, what have been some of the best draft picks by the Utah Jazz?
We need to ask our listeners that.
So, yeah, if you want to weigh in on that, love to get your thoughts. What have been the best draft picks by the Utah Jazz? 435-339-0321 right here on the Full Court Press.
Well, what shall we talk about?
You're listening to the Doug Gottlieb Show.
What now, Chris Paul? He can opt out. He could become a free agent. He could stay there. I'm not somebody who says you should give him $30+ million for 3 years, because the reality is he didn't play against the best of the best to get to the NBA Finals, and eventually the NBA Finals wore him down. That's just the reality of it.
The Doug Gottlieb Show.
Weekday afternoons from 1 to 4 on Sports Talk Radio, 106.9 FM, 1390 AM. The Fan.
And the winner is Daryl's Appliance in beautiful downtown Benson, voted best appliance dealer in northern Utah.
This is Jay at Daryl's Appliance. We sincerely thank you, Cache Valley, for your vote. We want to share more great news by introducing the newest member of our Scratch and Dent family, Whirlpool. That's right, we now carry Whirlpool-made appliances at scratch and dent prices, always backed by our exclusive 2-year warranty and our famous Daryl service team. Come check us out today. Daryl's, west on Airport Road.
The Army National Guard plays a vital role in your community. We're on the front lines supporting essential personnel, first responders, law enforcement, and medical professionals, delivering food, supplies, and medicine, keeping communities safe, making a difference. During emergencies, we're always ready, always there. Learn more about part-time service in the Army National Guard at nationalguard.com.
Sponsored by the Utah Army National Guard, aired by the Utah Broadcasters Association and this station.
Girls, us guys are always trying to score some brownie points, but we need all the help we can get. So dropping some subtle hints is helpful, such as your favorite food is Italian, you love the color green, and you want the ring from Jarek's Fine Jewelry, the place with the bright green cars on 930 North Main Street. Okay, so it might not be so subtle, but that's okay. Remember, we need the help. Make it special, make it Jarek's. Now remember, just tell him it's the place with the bright green cars.
Ascent Aesthetics is quickly becoming the choice of those looking for Botox, fillers, skincare, microneedling, laser hair removal, medical-grade facials, and more. Doctors Blotter, Benyon, and Robinette of Cache Valley Ear, Nose, and Throat have assembled an incredible staff that want to meet and help you feel confident, beautiful, and refreshed. At Ascent Aesthetics, it's always education first. Visit Ascent Aesthetics in their new Providence location next to the Bank of Utah. Go to ascentaesthetics.com. That's ascentaesthetics.com for more details.
It's the Full Court Press, weekday afternoons from 4 to 6 on Sports Talk Radio, 106.9 FM, 1390 AM. The Fan.
Full Court Press, Eric Frandsen, Ajay, Salvesen, 425 your time. Our last 1 hour show, and then we go back to 2 hours on Monday. Condolences to all you people. NBA draft last night. We're going to get through winners, losers, surprises, who did well, who did not do well. But let's first, Eric, congratulations to Nimi Queta.
Yeah, so cool.
How cool is that, man? That's awesome. I didn't see Sacramento be in that team. I thought New Orleans would pick him up. I thought maybe Milwaukee would maybe swoop in. That obviously wasn't the case. Sacramento, though. And really, if all works out, Kendrick Perkins is kind of a nutcase, but he thinks Nimi could be starting by the end of the season.
Yeah, when they came back from commercial, the ESPN commentators talking about the Nimi selection to Sacramento, and it was fun to hear them talk about him. They watched his film. They showed some film on him. They talked about some of the games that he played, doubles that he had, and Perk saying, I think by the end of next year he could be the starter. Maybe they don't really have a strong group of centers there in Sacramento. So, sure, there's a chance he could be there. The vast majority of those trying to predict the draft had Nimi going a lot lower than what he actually did.
39th?
He went 39th.
Which, by the way, is the highest since Brian Jackson, 1981, who went 26th in the first round to Portland.
Yeah, highest Aggie in 30 years. So really exciting to see what his name get called, to see the highlight reel, get him talked about. And I don't know if you got a chance to see the reaction of him when he got the news. He was with his mom.
Got a chance to hug his mom.
Super cool. So really excited for Nemi. Going to Sacramento. Now, great that he got his name called, that he got called as high as he did. I think he'll have some opportunity there.
What are you saying, Eric?
But
just say it.
Sacramento is just a not well-run organization.
They're in, some struggles. That would be a nice way to put it.
I feel bad for Nemi that he's going to an organization that consistently and constantly fails its players. So I hope he can get some training and catch somebody's eye and get a chance to go somewhere else after a little bit.
I'll tell you this. The Kings fans were not thrilled about Nemi Ishketa. They were pretty upset. I will not read you the messages to the Kings post draft press conference, but they were not thrilled about Nemi Ishketa. But we know it here. We're gonna play the audio. It's a video, but it's when Nemi Ishketa gets drafted. Here you go. We'll see right there. It's just a video of him hugging his mom. He did have quite a few people there to watch him get drafted. Not sure who everybody is because not a lot of those people look like they related to Keta.
It just looked like he's in a restaurant somewhere. Yeah, they're just gonna hanging out
here. And I've said this before.
If he was in Portugal, that was a early morning or really late night.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where he's at. I don't even want to know. Anyways, his mom was there, and I know I talked about this yesterday, but just the story of Nemi Ishketa. I don't know if you guys know the whole background of Eric Peterson, Coach Peterson, who's formerly of Utah State, now at in Salt Lake City with Craig Smith at Utah. But the story of Coach Peterson going over to Portugal and getting Nemi back to the U.S. and to Utah State. Dude, that is one for the books. That is an incredibly, just crazy story.
But everybody owes Diogo Brito, a big hand on that one, making that happen.
100% right. And Coach Pearson and Brito did all the work on that one, and people need to know that. And I'm going to say this politely, but very little work was done by Craig Smith for Nemi Ishketa. I'm going to just put it straight up and straight out there. And I know that for a fact. I know that 110% to be true. 9315, how does social media account for an NBA team get a picture on one of their draft picks? Took a photo of him.
Well, maybe I don't know. Sometimes it's hard to decipher what Leon's trying to text to us, but the Sacramento Kings, their official social media account, had a picture of Nemi in his Utah State jersey, and it looked like a 10-year-old, colored it in with some Microsoft color paint
You're such a
program. Colored over it purple, kind of scribbled a 23 onto the jersey and white. It was very, very basic, very childlike. Maybe, I don't know if that's what 9315 is referring to, but the official Sacramento Kings social media account tried to make Keta look like he was wearing a Sacramento uniform.
Yeah.
It's really bad.
God bless.
It's really
art. Hey, really quickly, I think it's about at this point. There are some comments made by Monte McNair, the most hated GM in the NBA from its own fans, as of right now. He talks a little bit about Keta. I'll have to find it and then maybe come back and play it when we come after break. But we'll try and get some audio from those who made the selection of Neemias Queta. Again, he goes at 39. That's the highest since Brian Jackson of 81, who went to Portland. And it's the first time in Aggie history they've had back-to-back years of back-to-back Aggies being drafted in the first 2 rounds.
And another first, the first native of Portugal drafted into the NBA. So a lot of firsts there. Some really exciting time here for Nimi, for his home country. So when I saw the pick come through over the screen, I sent out a tweet. Pretty simple. There it is. Because there's a running joke that you draft an Aggie and you win the NBA championship. That's what worked for Sam Merrill and the Milwaukee Bucks. So just kind of joking around with that. And I said, my tweet, there it is. Neemias Queta heading to Sacramento. We can safely assume the Kings will win the NBA championship in 2022. Ajay, I'm approaching 700 likes and 95 retweets.
What?
And
are you serious?
A lot of names and handles in Portuguese, and a lot of people I do not know.
You had a tweet go viral?
It's been kind of funny how that's taken up. And it's still happening. Like, I just got another like just as I've been speaking about this. Started last night. It's been going through the evening and all day today.
Oh, man. You had a tweet go viral,
it's
dude.
It's been kind of comical.
Man. Yeah. That is nuts.
And, of course, those who've been following the situation, a lot of Aggie fans are saying it's going to be a Sacramento-Milwaukee final, and we'll see who eventually wins. But I kind of doubt that Sacramento will actually be there. But anyway, it's been fun to see how this has happened, what the reactions are, the reactions among Aggie faithful, people who...
I love how people just took your tweet so serious. Like, no, it's wrong.
Yeah.
Kings are going to the finals. Lakers are. Okay, calm down, people. Really quickly, not really quickly, but Utah Jazz. Grimes ends up getting picked up before it gets to Utah. I mean, it was close. It was close. And I think the Jazz were like, maybe.
And another one that I was really watching for, I thought he would fit in perfectly for what Utah needed, was Miles McBride. He gets taken.
Yeah, where did he go? Do you know? I need to look it up again.
But so the Jazz are coming up and kind of eager to see what they do. All of a sudden we hear the Jazz are trading out of the first round. Like, this team really doesn't want anybody. So they trade down, but really after kind of thinking about it a little bit more, it was a genius move. The Jazz moved down 10 spots. They don't go too far down. They don't have to worry about a guaranteed contract from a first-round draft pick. And they get future second-round picks. So they still end up getting the guy they wanted.
They never wanted
And they get multiple
Butler.
future picks.
They never wanted Butler. I don't buy that from those Jazz people.
Well, look, I don't know if he was the singular guy they wanted. I'm pretty sure there's a number of guys that were on the board they would have loved to have. But to say it's the guy they specifically wanted, I think that's just maybe a little hyperbole. But they're saying, look, this is a guy who, according to our analysis and our pre-draft research that we've been doing, we felt this was a guy who would be a late lottery guy. So to have him fall all the way to 40, it was like really exciting. But if he's going to be that good and fall all the way to 40, what do we not know? What are we missing?
Yeah, I'm with you on this.
If he's really that good, why wasn't he selected sooner? I know there's some concern about some health conditions, past knee issues, maybe a heart thing, but there's no question he's a gamer, great player, great competitor, part of the national championship Baylor Bears, and he looks like he could be a guy that could fit into the Utah system and be a good contributor, a good rotation player, a guy that could back up Royce O'Neal for sure.
I understand that sometimes you don't get, like, what's the point of taking 2 second rounders? Because I'm going to be shocked if they use either second rounder. If they're not going to be like, you know what, we can just trade these, go back, and grab some guy that we're going to ship off to the G League. I mean, I'm glad they got the Butler dude. I mean, according to Tony Jones of The Athletic, he's really, really good. Very good ball player. I just felt we could have done it a different way without coughing up everything we have. And then the whole Derek Favors and a first-round pick going to Oklahoma City for a second-rounder. Can you explain to me the logic besides the, it helps us financially when you weren't even, it wasn't really going to help you financially because you're still in the luxury cap, especially if you re-sign Mike Conley. Help me understand the good part to this because I don't see any of it.
Well, I've been trying to figure out. Yeah, if you didn't hear, Derek Favors traded today. He's going to Oklahoma City. Jazz not only send Derek to Oklahoma City, they also send a future first-round pick. And in exchange, what do the Jazz get back? They get the worst of the second-round picks available to Oklahoma City. So, look, Oklahoma City has a Scrooge McDuck bank of future draft picks. And what do they send back to Utah in exchange for a future first-rounder and a veteran center power forward?
For the cheap?
They send the worst of their second-round picks available.
And the Jazz are like, great, awesome, you got a deal.
If I'm Derek Favors, how am I not just totally offended by this move?
Yeah.
Like, this is how little you think of me? But I think, look, I'm positive the Jazz were trying to move Favors in some kind of a draft trade last night. This deal happened at 6:30 a.m. today. So there had been talks last night ongoing, and finally it happened. But
so I'm glad
the Jazz are just shedding. Yeah, they're just shedding salaries here.
We settled. It's gross.
Look, there's some cash considerations. It has to be somewhat even.
Hey,
there has to be cash considerations. The Jazz are going to save themselves, what is it, $13 to $15 million?
That's not a lot in the NBA.
No, but it does help specifically if you're going to try to go after and try to retain Mike Conley,
who's going to be costing you 30-something million, 75 million, 80 million. It's not worth it. I mean, it's just bad decision-making by the front office. 2787. No, I did not color that picture Eric was talking about. Are you serious? No, that was not me. 4260 says, you guys should have Justin Zanuck do the pick 6 instead of Ajay. He literally knew that picks 31 through 39 would pass on Jared Butler.
Okay.
Did I lose pick 6 again?
Well, we don't know yet. We'll know on Monday.
I love how excited you sound, Eric. God, you suck.
Look, right. I love Derek Favors. He's been part of the team for a long time. I think he's a high-character guy. Just allowing him to be a power forward / center, not trying to make him a stretch 4 is the better thing. But it was clear. It was obvious. When Rudy Gobert went off the floor, the Jazz gave up more points, and they couldn't score as many points either. Derek Favors did not help them offensively or defensively. Now, early part of the year, he was okay. He was hanging in there. But as the season went on and in the playoffs, he became more and more of a liability. Now, what do they use to replace him? Who's going to back up Rudy Gobert? Does this mean they're just going to go all in on Udoka Azubuike? Do they go out and find somebody else? Because there's rumor one of your favorite players could be coming back to Utah. George Niang hasn't left yet, so it's not him.
I don't.
But Tony Bradley could be on the market with a little more experience. Could be coming back to the Jazz. But it's not been determined yet.
If Tony Bradley comes back and plays for the Utah Jazz, I will no longer be a Jazz fan. I will find a new basketball team. Are we clear? No, I'm dead serious. If we are stupid enough to take Tony Bradley, Mr. Charmin Soft himself, back to this basketball team, I am going to become a Rockets fan, a Pistons fan, a Knicks fan. I don't care. I will flip a coin. I'll let our listeners pick me a new team. Do you understand me? I am not going to be a fan of a team that picks up a player that they used to have that they realized really sucked at the game of basketball. They gave him away for a box of Boston beans and then brought him back just because they were sentimental. I'm not doing this. I swear, no, I'm serious. I swear to life, I will become a fan of a different basketball team. I will chuck all my Jazz stuff, whatever it is, and I will become a fan of somebody else. I will do it, and I'll do it happily.
It'd be great if they could get somebody who brings some different versatility. Like, yeah, protect the rim, be able to grab some rebounds, but also have some offensive game. That's the problem with Rudy Gobert. He doesn't have set plays. He's great at lobs, great at putbacks and dunks, but you can't throw the ball into him at the free throw line and he'll go to work. He doesn't have that. You need to find somebody that can do that, or at least have a stand-up jump shot that can draw guys out so you have some versatility there. Hey. By the way, the report today is that the Jazz are going to pursue Mike Conley, and the offer that they're throwing out there, again, this is just a report. It's nothing confirmed yet, but the report is 3 years, $75 million.
It's too much. He's not worth that. Eric, he's not worth that. He's not even... Like, if you want to pay him 3 years, 35, by all means. But 3 years and $75 million to play 56 games and play 2 games in the playoffs. That's what he's going to do.
But they'd get him for less than they're paying him now, and you get an elite point guard.
He's not elite.
If you went to the All-Star game,
Eric, he was a sub because there was no other options.
He's been a great point guard for years.
It was sentimental. There was nothing to it. It was romantic. It was like, oh, let's choose the guy who's never been paid to go to the All-Star game with his head coach being the coach of the team. That sounds like really good stuff. That's what's going to get ratings for the NBA. Wrong. Absolutely wrong. 8003. Jazz should have picked Keta to back up Rudy. I agree. Because now we got Azubuike.
Well, Keta wasn't available.
In the first round? Oh, yeah, I guess.
They traded down. He went right before. He went 39. The Jazz selected at 40.
Okay, well, then keep the pick.
The other guys that Utah was targeting, Ayo Dosunmu went from Illinois. He went to Chicago. Miles McBride from West Virginia. He ended up going to Oklahoma City. So some of the guys that they were interested in just weren't available, and neither was Neemias Queta.
By the way,
which they wouldn't have selected Nemi.
Someone
they were needing that wing player, defender, outside shooter, which actually brings up another point that I wanted to point out in this draft last night. Centers, it used to be if you were 7 feet tall and you could walk and chew gum at the same time, pretty good chance you're going in the first round. But there were very few centers selected, period, in this year's draft. You can tell that the shifting of how the NBA and how they value players and what they want, the type of players that they're looking for. Most of the centers were taken in the second round.
Hey, that Russell Westbrook trade, going to the Lakers, he doesn't help LA, right? I mean, you still got to lean on the fact that LeBron's got to be able to be healthy to play, to even have a shot at an NBA title. Russell Westbrook is not helping you win an NBA title. Great, glad you agree.
What was that?
I don't know.
No, look, I also thought that was weird. I thought that the Buddy Hield proposed trade probably would have worked out better. They would have kept more players, and they would have got somebody that could space the floor with LeBron James more. But with this Russell Westbrook move, I think what that does is allow LeBron to sit and let him have stretches where
got trouble.
What are you doing over there?
Sorry, I got to turn that off.
Where Westbrook is doing things. But look, Westbrook, amazing talent, great motor, but does he really help teams get to the next level? I mean, yeah, he's been in he's been deep in the playoffs before, but I don't know. I don't know how those egos all coexist.
It doesn't.
I don't think it really is going to work out.
I don't. Man, it's weird. I don't know. Yeah, I like people saying that he was a better deal than Buddy Hield is just bonkers. I think Buddy Hield.
Well, he's a former
MVP.
Deal. I mean, he's a triple-double machine. Yeah, he's got a lot of stats and he's got some awards, but defensively, he's a bit of a liability. When he has the ball, teams will sag off of him on defense if he's outside the perimeter. I would think the Lakers want pieces around LeBron and Anthony Davis, not somebody who's going to compete with them on the court for the ball and for the time and for the attention. And that's what Russell Westbrook does. Whether it's intentional or not, that's what Russell Westbrook does.
2 quick texts and we got to get to a break. 5338, how many triple doubles does Westbrook have next year as a Laker? I'm going to say 7.
I think he'll probably have more than 7, but he won't have anywhere near what he had last year in Washington or when he was in Houston. Yeah, he's got bigger players that play more significant roles in LA than what he's had in those other places.
And then, let's see here, 4260. If the Wizards and KCP don't want to stay together, the Jazz should make an offer. Amen. I would give me KCP, please.
Man, I'd love to have Contavious Caldwell-Pope.
Give me him. Yes.
He'd be great.
4260.
He'd fit into the Jazz system.
Music to my ears. Love it. 2122. Text into the show. Westbrook to LA is awesome for the rest of the Western Conference contenders.
Westbrick.
Oh, Westbrick. Oh, sorry. Westbrick. Yes. Yes, LeBrick with Westbrick. Together. The bricks. All right, we got to take a break. Coming back, Friday 5 Best. 5 best draft picks in NBA history. In Jazz history. And the list is very short because they have only 5 good picks they've ever made in the draft. It's all coming up on the Full Court Press, 106.9 The Fan.
Wouldn't it be nice to work for a company that puts their employees first and isn't afraid to say thanks for a job well done? An employer who respects you and has no problem rewarding you with a competitive wage and benefits package? You belong with a company like Third Gen Machine right here in Logan. Third Gen Machine is hiring CNC operators, machinists, and maintenance technicians. Apply on Indeed. Just go to Indeed.com and search Third Gen Machine. Trust me, Third Gen Machine is where you want to be. Equal opportunity employer.
Loveland Living Planet Aquarium takes us outside our everyday lives, into a world of discovery. It's a chance to explore our innate curiosity, discover animals from around the world, and experience the all-new outdoor plaza and eco. More to explore at Loveland Living Planet Aquarium. Reserve your visit at thelivingplanet.com.
This is James Stevens with White Pine Funeral Services. We often hear people say, I wish I could use White Pine, but I've already paid for arrangements elsewhere. Know that if you've already pre-planned with a different funeral home, you can still call White Pine. If you are being told you'll lose up to 25% of your money, White Pine will provide a discount equal to any fee for switching. If you have any questions, please stop by for a visit or give us a call. We would love to meet you and explain in more detail.
White Pine Funeral Services, here when you need us most.
A diamond is forever and is perfect to represent your love. For those special occasions, give her a natural, one-of-a-kind diamond as unique as she is. Our exclusive brand, Neat and Brilliant Diamonds, is both beautiful and affordable with quarter-carat diamonds starting at $499. We have hundreds of sparkling diamonds at our integrity price guarantee with financing available. An investment for generations to come, Monday through Saturday 10 to 7, where Utah gets engaged. S.C. Needham Jewelers, middle of the block at the sign of the clock.
Enjoy the beautiful scenery and your favorite dishes on the spectacular outdoor patio at the Elements Restaurant. Ideal for every day or the special occasions in your life, the Elements has a beautiful atmosphere, impeccable service, and a delicious menu filled with salads, seafood, wood-fired pizzas, succulent steaks, sophisticated pastas, chicken, and more. You won't be disappointed with your visit to the Elements Restaurant and Riverside Patio for lunch or dinner between the beautiful Logan River and the Spring Hill Suites. Call 750-5171.
Hi, this is Ashley with LSS Insurance. The health insurance marketplace has reopened. This special enrollment period is available to everyone. If you have been adversely affected by COVID, lost coverage, need to make a change, or simply want to enroll, now is the time. We can help. Call 752-9493 to find out how much you could save. More tax credits are being offered. Greater cost sharing and coverage could start as soon as the 1st. Go to lssins.com or call 752-9493.
It doesn't matter who you root for. The Full Court Press has all the high school sports covered. The Full Court Press. Connect with us on Facebook, Twitter, and online at 1069thefan.com.
All right, Full Court Press wrapping up another show. Again, we go back to 2 hours starting Monday. Back at it, Eric. Eric is thrilled. He cannot wait.
It's a lot of exciting stuff going on next week.
Yeah.
Olympics going on. We're getting into more closer rounds for the men's basketball tournament. It's starting to become a lot clearer as we get into the quarterfinals and all that. The return of college football.
Yeah, Media
Camp
Day
begins on August 5th.
Yeah, we have Utah State Football Media Day. That's August 5th at noon. Coach Blake Anderson will do his press conference, and then we'll be able to meet with players one-on-one, assistant coaches included. So we'll get all the audio and get it to you so you can listen to it all. All right, Eric, we got 3 minutes, Friday 5 Best. 5 best draft picks in NBA history. Your number 5 is?
For the Utah Jazz.
Number
5 on my list is Deron Williams, 2005, selected 3rd overall by the Jazz. Part of a great team. Really became one of the best point guards in the NBA for a stretch there. With Utah, got the Jazz to the Western Conference Finals. Deron Williams is number 5 on my list.
Deron Williams was number 5 for me, too. I didn't think you were going to put him on there. I'm proud of you, Eric.
Thank you.
Formerly of Illinois. He had to sit and wait his time. Impatiently, he sat. But he had to sit and wait it out. Finally got his opportunity. Led his team to the Western Conference Finals in 2007. Part of a great modern era of a pick and roll with Boozer. Number 5, Deron Williams.
Number 4 on my list is Donovan Mitchell. Selected by the Denver Nuggets in 2017, but traded to the Utah Jazz. So I'm still going to consider that a Utah Jazz draft pick. 13th overall. He's been phenomenal. Multiple-time All-Star for Utah and the face of the franchise for the last few years, and still a long future ahead of him.
I know it sounds a little bit sour, but Paul Millsap is my number 4. Okay, he was the 40th.
It's not sour. That's a good pick. I strongly considered Millsap in my top
47th overall. He was, I mean, to pick him up in the second round and him being an All-Star. Now, he wasn't an All-Star until he left the Utah Jazz. You can thank the Western Conference for that. Really good. 12.5 points, 7 boards, almost 2 assists in 7 seasons in Utah.
I like that. Loved Paul Millsap. Sad to see him go. I'm going to say 2013, Utah Jazz also made a draft deal with the Denver Nuggets, getting Rudy Gobert at 27th. So he is number 3 on my list.
Wait, who is?
Rudy Gobert.
Oh, okay.
Multiple-time Defensive Player of the Year, multiple-time All-Star, just an All-NBA player, phenomenal pick for the Utah Jazz. Number 3.
Number 3 for me is John Stockton. Great point guard. Led the NBA history with assists and steals. Wonderful. 72nd overall pick. Great pick for the Utah Jazz. Not my number 1, though.
Number 2 on my list is John Stockton. Just for the reasons you just talked about. All-time leader in assists and steals. Phenomenal, lengthy career for the Utah Jazz. In 1984, selected 16th overall.
Number 2 for me is Rudy Gobert. 3-time Defensive Player of the Year. Monster. Still needs an offensive game. But just his defensive and how he's changed the game in so many ways, and especially in the modern era.
Number 1 for me, Karl Malone, 1985, 13th pick overall, second leading scorer in the NBA. Great, tremendous career, one of the best, if not the best, power forwards of all time. Karl Malone changed the trajectory of the Utah Jazz franchise, became a perennial Western power.
Karl Malone led the Utah Jazz to the NBA Finals and nearly did it almost by himself. Not Stockton with any help. Karl Malone was the reason why
Stockton didn't give any help?
Why the Jazz were in the NBA Finals.
Wow.
I want to make that very clear. Let's see here. 6891, he's thrilled for August 2nd when we go back to 2 hours. He hates The Odd Couple. 8003 has Carl, John, Donovan, Rudy, Mark, Ian.
Interesting choice. I thought about Daryl Griffiths. Considered him.
What about Adrian Dantley? Was he a draft?
I don't think that the Jazz drafted him.
Okay.
Andrei Kirilenko, another one that I had on my consideration.
We'll see you Monday, 4 to 6 p.m. on the Full Court Press.
I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise. It was 25 years ago when the NBA had one of its more notable drafts. It featured Hall of Famers like Allen Iverson, Kobe Bryant, Ray Allen, and Steve Nash. Pretty high bar, but it's really hard to imagine last night's draft will have similar results. There were certainly some interesting picks, and the experts are saying it was a deep class. But there's so much speculation. The top few picks seem pretty safe. Cade Cunningham, Jalen Green, Evan Mobley. It can go sideways pretty quickly after that. I think the Raptors surprised a lot of people taking Scotty Barnes at number 4. The Thunder taking an Australian guard, Josh Giddey, at number 6. The Warriors taking a G-Leaguer, Jonathan Kuminga, at number 7. So you never know. We don't realize how special that 1996 class was at the time. And maybe there's some hidden gems here. But it seems a lot more likely that teams are going to have to be patient and hope that someday we'll look back at this draft as something special. I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise.